Hello and welcome back to Valheim. And we are still in the swamp here. What we are going to do right now is actually go through this portal, because we are going to go back to our base and make a poison resistance. And show how big of a difference it actually makes. I thankfully didn't die, but I would like to have things that made my life a bit more stable. We have ooze, blood bag, entrails. Let's see, that's a cooking item. Let's put you in there for now. All right, I can actually make sausages now. Right, can do that. Which would be a good thing, but what we want to do is thistle, necktail, coal, and honey. Let's see how many. It's not maxed out yet, so I'm going to make just one. So thistle, let's take a bit of that. Can't remember exactly how many. Honey we have in here. What am I missing? Right, necktail. Let's take 10 of you. I don't think that's... I think it's just one. Yeah. So 10... To make one mead-based poison resistance, you need, first of all, a cauldron on top of a fireplace. So you need to make yourself a campfire. Then you have to go into crafting and make a cauldron on top of the campfire, just as we have here. A cauldron costs you 10 tin, so do be aware that it will require quite a lot of tin. And then, once you have done that, you can go into the cauldron on top, make sure the campfire is fueled, and you will have all these recipes, if you have unlocked all the ones I have right now. Meat-based poison resistance, as soon as you build the cauldron, it should get unlocked. So don't worry about that. You will have the poison resistance available from the start. So, and with 10 honey, 5 thistle, 1 necktail, and 10 coal, we can craft one. So let's do that. We now have a mead base in our inventory. Let's put away all the other stuff. And if you then have a fermenter and the mead base in your inventory, and the fermenter costs you 30 fine wood, 5 bronze, and 10 resin. And do be aware that when you place it, you do need the forge to be near enough so the building area is where you want to place, or close enough to where you want to place the fermenter. So be aware of that. And once you have the fermenter and you have the mead base in your inventory, you can go up to the fermenter and add item. Now, I have a mod which gives me percentage fermenting and then a 0%. So that's a mod that gives me the more exact timer for how complete the fermenter is. Because otherwise it's just, well, you wait and then you know if it's done or not. So that's basically it. So that's how you make poison resistance. Now, what I'm going to do is go to sleep. And one thing, if I remember correctly, one thing about a fermenter is it takes a few days of in-game days to complete. And we slept through the whole night. Let's go and check how complete that fermenter is, like how much it actually got to. It's at 23%. And if I remember correctly, it takes something like 4 days for the fermenter to actually finish something. So that's going to take a while, and that's why you actually want at least 4 of them, maybe even 5 fermenters per player ish. It's if you're playing solo, you want 4 minimum, maybe 5 depending on how much you will be consuming. And if you play with friends like co-op, or you're going to need more, just more, maybe not double, but at least like 50% more per person on top of the the first one. So if you're 2, maybe 6, maybe a bit more, maybe 7, but something like that. Anyway, let's eat up, get our health bar nice and big, and let's go through and see if we can. I think what we need to find, I'm going to portal so I know where it is. Yeah, what we need to find now is actually the place where all the good things are. And that's, yep, A blob. Oh, it jumped just as I was about to shoot it. I should have made some arrows, but whatever. Whatever. One thing... Right. I do need to check that out. One thing that I need to do is to be careful about archers in this place. Because you never know. There might be a drag archer and they do a lot of damage. A lot of damage. Cook their remains. Yeah, so this is the boss area. This is the boss. Oh. Oh, it was a skeleton archer, which means he doesn't do as much damage. Thankfully. There we go. Had it been a Draug, he would have done a lot more damage. But yeah, this is the boss area. This is where the boss is. Swamp boss. Here we go. So with that marked, I think I saw something green. Yep, there we have something green. Let's see. I think actually I will cheat a tiny amount just to be able to jump across there. So yeah. Here we have a dungeon. A crypt. These are what we need to do in the swamp. This is why we are going to the swamp. So let's designate the dungeon and yeah, and the second boss gave us, when we killed the second boss, we got the swamp key. This is where we use the swamp key. It's not a consumable because you will have to open up every single one of these, so you can reuse this key, so you don't have to fight the boss just to get more keys. There's no point in fighting the elder boss over and over again because you think you need the keys. So don't worry about that. Now, this is where I technically don't want to go in because I don't have a poison resistance potion, and I can die very quickly in these crypts. It depends. And I'm a bit scared, so I don't actually want to. I'm not going to. But yeah, do be careful. You actually do want to have... The sunken crypts is the main reason why you want the poison resist, because it's cramped, it's hard to see around the corners. There's a lot of units at times, a lot of heavy hitting units in there, which can kill you quite quickly. especially if you like combo that with say would say and I forgot completely about what I was. If you combo that with poison, right? That's what I was trying to say. If you combo that high damage with poison, you can die very quickly. So do be careful. Oh. Oh. Oh, ho, 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 ho. I don't want to go in there just in case. Because you never know. Oh, I wonder if that is a fake one. Or is there a... It's hard to say, actually. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there is anything on top of there. Anyway, the spawner had to go anyway. Oh, there's a lot of nasties. Blobs. The blobs are always dangerous. They get a lot less scary when you have poison resistance, but still, they are kind of bad regardless. Especially if you combo that with like a few draugs and skeletons and such, or a bunch of leeches. I think we are clear to... No, we are not. I saw that. That was... I just panic clicked everything there just to get out of that menu. Ah. Oh my god. The swamp is... It's such a big hurdle. Compare it to anything else. It's such a big jump in difficulty. And that's even if you're prepared for it. So don't be discouraged just because you die once or twice. more tries because it might take a bit longer for me to die because I played the game before and I know how to sort of avoid certain things. But I will die. Trust me. At some point, especially down in the dungeon, I will die. At one point, I will die. Let's see. One thing you have to be careful with as well is the stamina, because since you're wet all the time, the stamina region is super bad. Okay, we have one blob now. Just take your time. They jump. And then they don't jump for a while and then they jump again. So learning the like any games with an AI sort of attack pattern AI or pathfinding AI is like, just learn the patterns and you should be able to deal with them. How does it look around here? It looks fine. Sadly, I can't do a copy paste. I have to type every single time. Would be nice if I could sort of like just click and drag and copy paste. Would make it a bit less tedious. And one thing you want to try to find is turnip seeds. If you can find a yellow flower somewhere in a swamp, I happened to find one. If you find it, pick it up and bring it back. That's another blob. How many blobs are there? Or rather oozes are there? There's a ton of them. And run, otherwise they will explode poison. We are starting to get to a point where I need to think about ending the episode. These oozes and blobs are rather annoying. I hope I still have arrows left. I don't want to deal with these. Melee, because I can't really deal with that. And I'm out of arrows, so I don't really have a choice. I think the best option is when they jump and boom. Yeah. Then there's a way to avoid that poison cloud, but yeah, getting arrows is something that I'm going to need to do. But yeah, I've been on a sort of a scouting mission here. Oh, here we have it. Here it is. A turnip seed. Pick those up because you will need the turnips. The turnips are going to be super valuable. And they are kind of hard to find the seeds. The carrot seeds in the Black Forest are remarkably simple to find, whereas the turnip seeds can be rather hard to find. And you can actually scour a whole swamp and find basically no seeds whatsoever. So yeah, that's that is a possibility. Sadly, that's just the way it is. And it's starting to get dark. So I should see if I can get back. So a bit of lore. And that's where I have my portal. Let's go back. Now, the leeches is something you need to be careful with, but if you jump over the water, you should be fine. It's just when you're slow moving or swimming, where it can't, they will get you. Right. I haven't been talking about this, but I actually got a piece of scrap iron. It says on the tooltip, can't be teleported. And it has a bit of an icon as well to sort of show you that, yeah, you can teleport with this item. And basically any metal, any ore and ingot cannot be teleported whatsoever. And I feel like, yeah, that's totally fine. So that's why I don't have a mod to remove that restriction, because it would be a lot less traveling and a lot more teleporting, which I don't feel would be as fun. So, and if you're not playing games because you feel like it's fun to play and it's not for the sake of having fun, then I seriously question why someone is playing a game at that point. Anyway, for honey, as a last piece of information before we end, when placing these beehives, you can run into a bit of an issue where some of the beehives doesn't work. And when a beehive is functional, so it's producing, it's middle of the night now, so they're not doing anything just this second. Let's sleep, and I will show you in the morning. And if you do a check before there's any honey in a beehive, you can check bees, and if it says the bees are happy, you're fine. If it says anything else, like too crowded or whatever it says, I can't remember exactly what it says, but it gives you an indication of the bees are not happy. But if it says the bees are happy, you're good to go. If it says anything else other than like they're sleeping, so you can only check this during the day, then if it says something other than the bees are happy, you need to space them out a bit more, because they can't be too close to each other, and they can't be too closely populated around in a certain area. So that's why they are not around the tree all the way, but 3 of them are over here instead. So that's why they're sort of making a corridor over here, because that was the only way to make all the 7 beehives happy. And with that piece of information and tip, so to speak, I think we are going to leave this with our foggy indoor house there and continue later. We have had a bit of a successful endeavor in the swamp down here. We have found 1, 2, 3, 4 dungeons and the boss. We have set up a quick portal so we can actually portal from our base and down into the swamps immediately. And we have the boat over here, so we could actually go back over to our forward base. Basically, it's an extremely temporary base. And what I'm going to do is actually take this FB Swamp 1, move that whole base over into the swamp. And I'm going to, I think, since I've done a bit of exploring and looking around, I think what I'm going to do is the next 2 episodes is going to see if I can make a swamp base, or the how I go about making a swamp base, because I know exactly what I'm going to do. It's just, can I find a spot for it, and can I make it quick enough, at least the base. So getting a swamp base is something I will do. And then after that, it's grinding resources in the dungeons. But the reason why I want to sort of let that be for a bit is because I need the fermenter to finish, which is already has. But that is going to have to be the next episode. And I'm going to make more poison resist, so I have a bunch of those. Maybe even some minor healing, so I have 1 or 2 of the healing potions just in case. But I think all I want to ask of you is that you like the video, because that would be super awesome nice if you did. And yeah, with that, thanks for watching, goodbye, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.